today I'm going to show you how to make chocolate mousse cups. They're going to be little parfait cups. You'll either serve them in a little plastic parfait cup or a chocolate like shell. We're going to be making 6 different flavors. Chocolate, cookies and cream, mint chocolate chip, caramel, peanut butter, and strawberry. And essentially you're going to be sharing them with multiple people, kind of creating like a flight. People like a lot of options, or like a dessert mini flight bar with, you know, grab and go type thing. So the first one is the chocolate. It's the simplest because it requires the least amount of ingredients. So you're going to have heavy cream, chocolate chips, and then you're going to have little cups. And I'll show you those in the second part of this video. So for the purpose of the video, I'm making a smaller amount, but you'll be making a large amount to share with an entire class. All right? So the first thing you're going to do is you have your heavy cream that I've heated in a microwave safe bowl. So the recipe calls for, your recipe calls for 3 cups, and you're going to divide it, okay? So half of it is going to get heated, and you're going to add your chocolate chips to that, and you're going to stir it, and then the other half of the heavy cream is going to remain cold, and you're going to whip that into whipped cream. So I'll show you that in a second. So what you're going to do is this, my heavy cream is heated, I added, you'll add 2 cups of chocolate chips, or an entire like 12-ounce bag. I'm again making a smaller amount, so I added 4 ounces. That's why mine looks smaller. You'll use a bigger microwave safe bowl. Okay. If you don't have a microwave available, you can also heat the heavy cream in a pan on the range. Okay, so I'm going to let this sit and do its thing. I'm going to grab my cold heavy cream from the fridge. Okay, I'm going to put that in here, just like so. And then I'm going to take a hand whisk, and I'm going to start beating this. Start beating this. Okay. If you don't have one of these, you can also use just a KitchenAid. And you're going to start beating this until you get soft peaks. So we'll be right back. So we are back. So what I did was here. Okay, so you have heavy cream. Okay. The recipe calls for 3 cups. So a third or 2/3 of that I whipped. A third of that I heated and melted my chocolate. So here that chocolate all sat, and you're gonna mix it until it's nice and smooth, okay? And then I whipped my whipped cream plain. It needs to be cold with, just whipped it until you get soft peaks, so it kind of holds itself a little, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to take about half of this out, and this is gonna be my topping, okay? Right there. Now I'm leaving the rest in here, okay? And then I'm going to add in this, okay? I'm going to add in this mixture. This whipped cream is going to thicken this up. Now it's still going to be a little loose, but it's going to cool and chill, and that will help thicken it up. So we're going to pour this in, and I would wait for this just to cool down a little bit. So if it's piping hot, I would just, you know, put it on an ice bath, put it in the fridge for a minute before you incorporate it with that whipped cream. Okay, so I'm going to put that right like this. Start slow until it starts mixing. And then you're going to move it up to 10 and make sure it's covered so it doesn't spill everywhere. We'll be right back. All right, so I'm whipping this. I've incorporated the chocolate, and you can see, so see how it's holding this is a soft peak stage, so it's still very loose. So we're gonna keep whipping it until it gets a little bit firmer, but you don't want it to get too firm. I'll show you what it will look like when it's too firm. All right, so we're almost there. It almost is gonna look like a chocolate whipped cream. But you really need to avoid overmixing, so do not leave this. Alright, so it will firm up a little bit more as it, so this is the soft peak, okay? We can get it a little bit harder or firmer. I'm going to show you what overmixing. So, like when you were a little kid and you would mix you know, make homemade butter, you want to avoid over mixing. So this is pretty much, it just takes like a second. So you saw how it's like that really soft peak, and now it's a medium to firm peak because it's holding its dollop. So that's when you know that you are good to go, okay? So like I said, we're gonna put it back, and you can put it in a baggie, a piping bag. I'm just gonna put it right in here, just because I don't have a ton of baggies because it's summertime. And you're gonna refrigerate this until day 2 when you assemble. So this is just our basic chocolate mousse. Okay, so I still have a little chocolate in there. I like having that because it's like a swirl. It looks really cute when you put it in the cups. And then you're just gonna cover this with plastic wrap. You would put it in a baggie, and then it will be good to go. Now this is overmixed. So see how it looks like it's curdled and like butter? That is the result of overmixing. So if I would have let that go for another minute or 2, it would have gone from this to this. So you want to avoid overmixing. You need to babysit it. Okay, I'll show you what it looks like when we assemble in a little bit. Thank you. Hello, and we're back to the chocolate mousse. I'm going to show you how to assemble it. So essentially, you're making a flight. A flight is a series of desserts that guests have like a bunch of options. Sometimes it could be the same thing, like a cupcake flight, a donut flight, cake pop, etc. We're going to do these little mousse cups. It's also known as a trifle. A trifle is a layered dessert. Sometimes they're large, sometimes they're small. So this is like a spin on a trifle, mousse, etc. Okay. Now you're going to be making a flight for each table to share. Okay. Anywhere from each table we'll get 3 to 4 of each flavor, and then you'll present them and whatnot. So you might, because you're going to be, essentially in the perfect world, we want you to assemble all 6 of the flights for each flavor for each, you know, that's a lot. So this might take you a couple days, and that is fine. These will be fine as long as they're refrigerated. Okay, so if you finish these on one day and the other ones are not done, just put them in the fridge, let them set. You can serve them. You want them all to be served at the same time, and give your teacher an idea of, you know, when, so that they can work that into the time. Okay, so we have our mousse, okay, in a piping bag. Remember, we had it in a bowl. Put it in a piping bag. Save some of the whipped cream, and then I'm going to use some chocolate chips just for garnish. You could do chocolate drizzle. You can essentially have any garnish you want. But you want them all to be kind of different. So we're going to start with our mousse. It is a little soft, so you can do it like this, okay, like so. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that whipped cream for dollop at the end, like so. Okay. Now you can use fun piping tips if you want. Again, get as creative as you want. And then I'm just going to put some of those. Now your idea is that they all look the same. So you could also be a little bit more creative. So I put a little bit of whipped cream. I'm just showing you ideas, so obviously mine too look different. So this is more going to be like the trifle, which is different layers. So you can get the idea. And then, okay. And then we have, because this is a full dessert, and it's like grab and go, kind of like for a sweet table, you can put these as part of the presentation, like so. All right, enjoy.